Good afternoon. My name is John, and I work for Transport for London. That's me. I work for Transport for London. We are responsible for the wonderful public transport that you may have experienced if you've visited London. We run all the tubes and the buses, and we run the major roads. But for me, the best way to get around London is to cycle, and it's just for me by far the most enjoyable way to get around. And there are lots of other people who agree with me. We're growing in number. Over the last 15 or 16 years, cycling's mode share in London has tripled. We're not talking about huge percentages here. It's gone from 1% to 3%, but it's growing all the time. So who are these cyclists? They're me, basically. They look like me. The average cyclist is white, a man, and roughly my age. What we want to do is to normalise cycling. So to create a city that for people of all sizes, ages, backgrounds to feel comfortable cycling. Something like this picture here. I don't know if that's representative of Verona, but so what's stopping these people who aren't cycling from cycling? Safety, surprise, surprise, is the consistently cited as the main barrier to cycling. This is me 3 years ago in 2013, and these are my two boys on my bike. And at the time that picture was taken, I was looking forward to the day when these two boys can feel comfortable riding their own bikes on the street like I do. Also that year, Transport for London published Safe Streets for London, which is our road safety strategy. In that document, it's got a goal to reduce fatal and serious injury collisions by 40% by 2020. And as part of that, this Safe Streets for London, it takes a safe system approach. So it recognises that people make mistakes, so that the streets need to allow for that. And as part of that, part of the safe system approach, the actions in the action plan are organised under 3 categories: safe roads, safe vehicles, safe people. As this session here is about infrastructure, I'm going to concentrate on safe roads. So the vision for cycling in London is to create, eventually, we've started already, but eventually to create a safe and continuous network of streets, of cycling routes, sorry. A major flagship scheme is the Cycle Superhighway. Up on the top, that top picture is what the old superhighways look like. They came out about 4 years ago, and they were criticised for it being just blue paint. They didn't offer any protection to cyclists. So the new superhighways look like the picture underneath. They are either fully or partially segregated, where possible, and incorporates new technology such as this early release signal for cyclists. We had to change national regulations on signs and lighting to get this little bike symbol onto traffic lights. So apart from the cycle superhighways, they're the big ones. We've started work on a network of quiet ways for people who don't want to cycle next to fast-moving traffic. This is going to be a network of quiet back streets with new wayfinding directions for people to understand where they're going, and some improvements at junctions including some traffic calming or perhaps filtering out motor traffic altogether. So together, the quiet ways and the superhighways will form a grid-like network. So that's central London. Central London covered. Outer London, there's huge potential for cycling. There's something like 5 or 6 million trips taken every day of about 1 kilometre in a car that could so easily be cycled. So we got a pot of money and we offered it to outer London boroughs. So there are 33, London is made up of 33 different boroughs. So we made a pot of money available to outer London boroughs to bid for, and 3 London boroughs are implementing what we call mini Hollands, basically transforming a town centre in that borough to make it look like a mini Holland, give people confidence to cycle on. Of course, nearly 80% of collisions happen at junctions, and there are a lot of large junctions in London that were built in the 60s when town planners, wanted a motor-dominated city. We don't want that anymore. So we are we've got a hit list of 33 major junctions that we are redesigning with segregation. We're turning huge gyratories and roundabouts back into two-way traffic. And there's more. A picture below gives an indication of what we call the left turn junction, where traffic moves forward, and the traffic that wants to move left moves left when the forward moving traffic is stopped, to avoid any conflict. All this is based on design principles. We went overseas and we looked at what other cities were doing and looked for what we could adapt for London, and that's what produced the London Cycling Design Standards. These standards are what we base every new piece of cycling infrastructure on. These 6 variables here: safety, I don't know if you could read it, but safety, directness, comfort, so anyone should feel comfortable, the surface should be comfortable, coherent, you should be able to understand where you're going, it shouldn't be ugly, it should be attractive, and it should be adaptable to all sorts of cyclists and increasing numbers of cyclists. But safety is the big one, it's weighted at 48%. We're also trying to make the traffic slower. There's a big growing campaign in London called 20 is Plenty. Now a quarter of our streets are 20 mile an hour, have 20 mile an hour speed limits. We're also replacing our very old network of speed enforcement cameras into a new digital system to make it a lot more efficient to enforce speeding cars. That's safe roads. I'm just going to cover very quickly safe vehicles and safe people, because we can't ignore them. We're doing a lot of work around freight safety. Left-turning lorries were the #1 killer of cyclists in recent years. Thankfully, last year there were very few of those collisions. But we've got 2 flagship schemes: the Fleet Operator Recognition Scheme, that promotes safety standards for heavy good vehicle operators. The Construction Logistics and Cycle Safety scheme is for large construction projects, large developments, the people who employ those heavy goods vehicle operators. The Safer Lorry scheme is it basically closes a national legal loophole. So outside of London, there are huge vehicles that don't need to have class 5 and class 6 mirrors that minimise the blind spot just to the left and to the front of the vehicle, and they don't need to have side guards. Now any vehicle over 3.5 tons coming into London has to have these safety mirrors, has to have side guards. We're doing some work on buses as well. All new buses coming onto London will have intelligent speed assistance technology fitted to it, so that even if the driver wanted to exceed the speed limit, he can't. We're doing a lot of work around education. We provide free education for adults and children through schools. But we're not just teaching people how to be safer cyclists. We've got to also educate drivers as well. An example of that is the Safe Urban Driving course, where we invite people who drive large vehicles to come in. There's a classroom-based part of it, and then they go out and ride some bicycles, some of them for the very first time. Exchanging Places, that's a program where a cyclist or a pedestrian or anybody can come and sit in the cab of a lorry, not to drive it, just to understand what a driver can and can't see when they're driving a huge vehicle, and that teaches cyclists how to position themselves safely when sharing the road with a large vehicle. We fund the Metropolitan Police, the Roads and Transport Policing Command in the Metropolitan Police. It's the biggest single policing command in the UK. And so 2,300 officers, all have responsibility for road safety. Within that is a cycle safety team who patrol exclusively on bikes. So how are we doing? There should be a graph here which shows rising levels of cycling and a falling number of collisions and a falling rate of collisions. So this invisible slide it's good news. There was a worrying steady rise in cycling collisions up to about 2012. Since then, there's been quite a fall. We hope that's something to do with our Safe Streets for London strategy that came out the next year. So, are we anywhere nearer to a city for children on today's theme? That was my eldest 3 years ago on the left, and on the right, that's him riding his own bike with confidence on one of our local superhighways. And he's not the only one. They're starting to bubble up out of the ground, these little people, and we hope to see a lot more of them. Thanks very much.